What's up, guys? Welcome to Extreme Daily Drivers. We are always balling on a budget and wrenching in our garage. Man, it's been a minute. It's been actually since October since I gave you guys a Prelude update. Check it out. It's back from paint. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you like the way it turned out? I think it turned out awesome. This is the OEM Frost White color. The color this car was painted previously was some sort of Mako paint job white. It was not the right white. It was a little bit off. This is the Frost White that this car came with. So, love the way it turned out. It does need to be wet sanded and buffed, which so happens to be one of my kind of favorite things to do. So I'm excited to get going on that. It's going to be a minute before I actually start doing it because the clear coat still needs to dry. This car was not baked in an oven, so the clear is going to take a little bit of time before it is actually ready to be wet sanded and buffed. But once I do, any kind of fisheye or I'm sorry, any kind of orange peel that you see will be removed. It'll be super sharp reflections and should look awesome. Check out this pinstripe that I put on. Actually, I didn't do it. Randy did it, the guy who painted my car. Did an awesome job with it. Love the way it turned out. This is kind of like a throwback to what was on here previously, and I love the way it turned out. Ignore this piece of trim right here. I gotta fix that. But yeah, man, it looks awesome. I think it fits the car perfect. Check out the little Honda emblem, huh? Pretty sweet. And then there's nothing in the back. It's just the pinstripe just stops. Back here towards the rear of the car, you can see my nice new exhaust that I got on there. That is a HKS Super dragger that I got a couple videos ago from a guy off of Facebook Marketplace. I got the kind of like an axle back for 40 bucks. It's off of an Accord, so I had to get the muffler hacked off and then weld it on. So I got an alignment the other day and got the muffler installed at the same time. Turned out awesome. Thanks to my boy Junior for hooking me up. You'll notice in the back, no more antenna, shaved. And then also in the rear deck lid, no more holes on either side. Got the OEM Honda badge back there. Looks super clean. Love the way this turned out. I hope you can see this. It's kind of hard to film, but got 6x9s back here on the rear deck lid now. Randy's idea. Randy actually gave me the speakers. He had them laying around. Nothing really hard about doing this. You just hack up the rear deck lid, cut metal away until your speaker fits. So if you guys want to do this on yours, not hard to do. No kit or anything like that. You just get yourself a cutoff wheel or a Dremel or something like that. Start cutting the metal away until your speaker drops down in its hole. I'll show you the trunk here. I just put down new wood here because I had the old piece that was really flimsy and basically just was a mess. But what I want to show you is, do you guys remember my rust holes that I had back here? Yep, well, they're all gone. Basically everywhere that there was a screw, I had a rust hole. You could see that there aren't screws in every hole here, and that's because that's where the rust was. Now obviously welded in new metal, went ahead and put panel bond over that, smoothed it all out. So now it's beautiful, no more holes. And as far as this rear piece, I think all I'm gonna do is get some 3M double-sided tape. And the parts that don't have the screw, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Randy and I talked about going ahead and drilling this out, putting in something that we could screw into to hold this trim piece in, but quite honestly, I'd rather not drill into it. We don't need to. It's a piece that no one ever sees. I'm showing you guys because you guys know the work that's gone into this car and the problems that I have with the rust. So yeah, some double-sided tape there. No one will ever know it's there, and it'll look awesome. So check out the driver's side. Turned out sick. I love this pinstripe, dude. Check it out. It looks awesome. But yeah, everything's nice and straight. No more dents. All right, check out the shifter here. So check the shifter out here. This is something I've been working on for a while. As you guys know, I showed you a couple of videos ago that I got this kind of adjustable shifter extension off of Amazon, and wanted to find a way to make it work. So anyway, I showed it to Randy, and Randy was like, that's not going to work the way you want it to. In order for it to work, you actually have to cut your shifter down. So he and I talked about it for a minute, and he was like, let's go over to CW Pence. I know exactly what we need to do. So he and I went ahead and took the stock shifter out, cut it down, and then we welded on the threaded part all the way down at the bottom of the shifter base. Turned out sick. Then we went ahead and painted it and went ahead and installed the little shifter extension. So I had this great idea that I was going to go ahead and put in a kind of cover that goes around the shifter, and it would be a nice finished piece. And I started doing it. I still may reinstall it, but for right now I actually kind of like the way it looks like this. So I don't think I'm going to do anything. I do have some other stuff coming in the mail here shortly that will highlight the shifter. I don't want to give it away, but it should be pretty cool. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see some updates to what I'm talking about. But we got the interior back together. Still got some work to do in here. I need to go to the junkyard and find some screws that I've kind of misplaced while the interior was in pieces. But for the most part, it turned out great. So you guys remember, like 5 months ago, I went ahead and pulled out my fuse box that was in the engine bay. I took the whole kind of passenger side of the car apart, pull all the lines out, I laid them out on the ground, and I tried to figure out a way where I can go ahead and kind of sort this out in my head to where I can make it work in the car. Well, let me show you where we are right now. This is where we are right now. Check it out, dude. Check it out. Yeah, I know this looks like a disaster, but you know what? This car runs, drives, everything works. This is not staying like this, obviously. I just put it all together to see if it would work, and it does work. So now all I have to do is organize it and hide it, which quite honestly is not going to be that big of a deal. I know this looks really daunting and kind of overwhelming and a disaster, but there's a ton of room underneath this dashboard now that I removed the blower motor for the air conditioning and the heating. So with all that room, I can take this stuff and shove it up underneath, find a way to mount it, and get it out of harm's way. So when all's said and done, it'll look like a regular passenger side footwell. So moving on to the engine bay. Now you guys know that there was a lot of kind of me getting creative with other car parts from other cars to see if they would work with the Prelude's OEM engine, the B21. And I am happy to report that everything worked. My innovative mounts worked with zero issues, okay? They're crazy stiff. They're like really stiff. It's the hardest urethane that you can buy. The reason I want that route is because I've eliminated one engine mount altogether. The front trans / engine mount is completely out of this car, right? So we went from 4 mounts to 3. So I decided to get the stiffest urethane because of that. Engine doesn't move. The car does have some additional vibes because of that. Trade-offs, you know what I mean? But the innovative mounts worked awesome. My B16 fuel rail works flawlessly, 0 leaks. My adjustable air fuel pressure regulator that I hacked the OEM one and put on the VMS Racing one works perfectly, no problems. My JB Tuned B Series fuel filter kit works perfectly, no issues. Bolted right up, no issues. My radiator from hell, the one that I fought since the day I purchased it, is in this car, works perfectly. What else is there? What else is there? My S2000 clutch master cylinder works perfectly, no issues. My positive and negative terminals that I put on the firewall to fill up 2 holes work perfectly. And the only thing that gave me trouble was my innovative traction bar. My innovative traction bar is kind of a disaster. Number 1, the bolts didn't work, okay? You're supposed to reuse the stock ones, they didn't work. Number 2, the bolts didn't line up. I had to have the holes elongated in order for the traction bar to fit. Number 3, the mounting point that's allegedly for an H22 is so big that my radiator would not fit down where it's supposed to fit. So I had to remove that huge piece, which actually cleaned up the look of it, made it look way better. And then finally, one of the radius arms is literally like a credit card's thickness away from hitting my oil pan. I mean, it is that close. So we'll see how that's going to work in the long run. I kind of have a fix in my head on what I can do if that does become an issue. But it is really, really, really close, like scary close. So that's the final thing. But everything else that I did, it worked. So enough talking about it. Let me show you what's going on under the hood so you guys can check it out for yourselves. Actually, you know what? You gotta wait for the next video. You are not ready to see what's going on under this hood. That's how sick it turned out. So anyway, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Wait for the next video. It's gonna be awesome. See you next time.